People in the United States are fed up with the healthcare system, and especially the healthcare insurance system, where something goes wrong, you're supposed to have insurance help you out. That's what you pay money into the system for. But the largest company, as far as profit is concerned, United Healthcare, they've got all this money. I think someone said around 35% of their claims they deny. And that was just terrible in terms of how claims are being accepted or denied. And it's been a whole thing that's been raging in the American populace. Like, why is this happening? People are dying. It's a sad situation, actually. But recently, an alleged shooter, Luigi Mangione, he is the suspect. He decided that
this is Show versus Business, where pop culture meets pop money. We host the real Theo Harvey and Mr. Benja. Mr. Benja, what's been going on?
It is the end now of 2025. Don't get too excited over there. Some of y'all were about to be like, oh no, the end is nigh. Not like that. We're not fear mongering or anything like that. But no, it's getting towards the end of things, man. And I don't know how to feel about this year. Usually I have definite thoughts, but a lot's gone on this year, internally, externally, with different people I know, with stuff in the media, with us and this podcast. Everything's been interesting, I'll say. Of course, just recently we got the healthcare discussions because the United Healthcare guy somebody decided his game was over. Always trying to find new ways to say that. And where the guru life is changing over, just a lot of little things happening, but there's so many little things, it feels like a lot. I don't know. That's not just me. I know that. But let's just jump into it, man. How you doing, man? How was your week?
Man, my week was good, man. Thanks for asking. Last weekend, I celebrated the birthday, and my birthday always corresponds with the end of the year. And so I start getting extremely reflective, man. I think you and I share that kind of side of it, but it's always good to just think through the lifespan of a year, and you just like, man, there's so much I did this year, man. And then you look back 10 years ago, you're like, wow, I did a lot in the last 10 years. Who knew? Yeah. And I always think back to that quote. I don't know if it was Mark Zuckerberg or somebody. You always overestimate what you can do in a year and underestimate what you can do in 10 years. And so Bill Gates, thank you. So we don't give Zuck any more credit. But yeah, so I'm super excited about 2025, man. Can you believe we were actually in the future, man? It's crazy. We're quarter way through the 200,000s. And here it is. We're in the future, man. And so I don't know about you, but always in December, I'm just full of so many ideas, man. Like literally today, I said, oh man, I love today, man. Yes, I don't really have a lot to do with the kids. My wife is relaxing. I got my mother-in-law in town. I'm like, man, I could just geek out for 2 hours. And I got up early, did some work, hung out with the kids, came back home, did some more work. Man, I did deep dives, man. You know how you just take that time. I'm just going to dive into some stuff.
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I loved it. Yes, I was in there. Matter of fact, some of that might pop up on this podcast. But yeah, man, I was deep diving today, and it was good, man. I like that. We always talk about this raw dog and being in the mix. And
yeah.
So if you guys don't know, raw dog basically is when you're like going deep dive. You're trying to understand a concept, an idea, and so you're taking time to unpack it, think about it, reflect on it. And then there's a time where you're just in the mix, where you're just being out there hustling, talking to folks, just trying to make things happen. The two are two different modes.
You can even relate that to, in case anybody's wondering, we did this way before Hermosi, by the way. We came up with this. But he has his version of maker time and manager time, which corresponds to being a raw dog, or being in the mix. So I just had to throw that in there in case some Hermosi fans thought we were biting.
No, good point, man. You're right. We can. And Hermosi got that from Y Combinator founder, right? I forgot who it was, but yeah. So yeah, we knew about this guy decades ago. So yes, so we probably, if we were owner of Y Combinator, Hermosi would have been taking it from us. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, man, when you get that time where you can just be a raw dog and just soak up knowledge, I'm going down this path, I'm going down this path, and what happens here? And then you just soaking that stuff up and just letting the data and the information just take you where it needs to take you. Man, that's nothing. It's just good to be in that mode, because as a person that runs a company and dealing with so many people all the time, it's hard to get those moments when you could just really deep dive and be in that flow state for like several hours. So that's always fun. But yeah, man, so super excited. Got a lot of ideas, a lot of things on my plate. Super excited about that. And then also, man, one of the things, just catching up on Christmas movies, putting up Christmas lights, putting up the I don't have my Christmas hat on. I probably could put it on, but I still have younger children, and so they always want the Christmas lights to go up. I could take it or leave it sometimes, to be honest with you, but I do it anyway.
So do they participate in the how do they participate in the putting up of the tree?
Pretty much, Dad do it. Didn't
Okay, I
but
was 'cause my dad used to do it, like, all the time. That used to be his thing, and my mom would just sit it's funny, my mom would sit in the living room with my dad and just talk to him while she's sipping on tea and he's working on the whole tree. He's like, "Yeah, Shirley, blah, blah, blah," and she's just like and it was this weird bonding moment they had where they would always just put the tree together. Not my mom didn't do anything, but my dad was putting the tree together and my mom was coaching or whatever.
I love
But
it, man.
at some point, my dad was like, "What's up? Here, you should try putting this together." And he was sitting on the couch with my mom while I was putting up the tree. And I was like, "Wait a minute. I'm putting up the tree now." It's ever since that moment, I would always put up the tree and my parents had nothing to do with it after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
it was totally
interesting.
it was like a one person job.
Did you guys have a real tree or a fake tree
No,
every year?
my mom wanted to rock with the same tree for 7 years, 8 years in a row. So she was trying to get all the life out of it she could.
Yeah, my wife is more of a fake tree person. I'm more of a real tree because I like that smell in the house. I
Mm,
like just
mm.
going out there picking the tree. That's what I grew up on. This year, we already had a fake tree. I think we had it during the pandemic. So I found it and then so I just put it up this year. My wife to appease me, she said, I found some spray on Amazon that smells like a real tree.
That's a lovely gesture.
It's spraying. I'm like, oh my God, what is this smell? So it's that fake phony smell, but I guess it's something. But yeah, man,
Like,
it's yeah, Christmas time, man, is you have these traditions. I come from a big family, so there's tons of things that we do getting ready for the holidays, and we do exchange a gift exchange because we're so many of us. You can't buy gifts for everybody, so we do a gift exchange for
yeah.
everybody and we give gifts for the kids. So we do 2 Christmases, one at our house and one at their house. So we'll talk more about that maybe on our Christmas episode. But yeah, I'm super excited. So we put the Christmas tree up, and so the kids wanted to watch Home Alone. Crazy movie. Probably would get canceled now if you watched it. I don't know. Surprising trivia: Home Alone 2. Donald Trump shows up for a brief cameo when
Yeah, yeah.
Kevin McAllister is lost in New York for but basically beat for beat similar to Home Alone 1. But it's always charming when he finally meets his mom again and he becomes a little kid. And so the kids always love that kind of that journey. I can remember, man. See, this is how older we are. I can remember I saw the trailer I can remember this. I saw the trailer for Home Alone 1. I said, I'm not seeing that crap. It just looks stupid. But then it did so well in the box office that I had to go see it and just see what the hubbub was. And that was my first experience of I had to go see it based on FOMO. But now that's what's driving a lot of movie watching now, right? It's like that first opening weekend, people are talking about it, excited about it. The second weekend, people will say, "Oh, I gotta go watch it," right? Because people are talking about it. So yeah, I think that and Matrix. Those are the two movies I can remember. Matrix was because I saw the trailer and that trailer got me so hyped because they were saying, well, no one can be actually, you can't be told what the Matrix is or something like that. Right?
Yeah.
I like, I guess I gotta go see that movie. So yeah, early movie watching, man. You can see the seeds of where we are now when it comes to hyping people to want to go watch movies. And so
Yeah.
Christmas movies, Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2. I think we got some other ones we watch. What's that other one? The Christmas Story. Do you have how about this? We'll save it for another pod, man, about favorite Christmas movies. But yeah, anyway, super excited about that, man. What about you? How
Well,
was
wait, if you wanna run that in, what do we gotta do? Our schedule's packed up, so might as well do it now. Top Christmas movies.
the schedule's packed up. Oh man, see now you put me on the spot, man. I don't know. I always have a fondness for like Star Wars around Christmas because of they always for the last several years they always had Star Wars popping up. I'm partial to watch the Holy Trilogy, right?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
get hype again. Luke, I'm your father. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No,
so
that
I
makes
watch
sense.
those. I don't know if there's not technically a holiday movie, but yeah, that's up on my list. I would say also Die Hard. I mean,
Mhm.
that just was genre changing, right? Because it basically was a hard R action film during the holidays. So basically,
Yeah, yeah.
hold this, bop, bop, headshots, right? It's like,
Yay.
So that changed the genre, man. Oh, so those are more like harder to the left field. Anything that I watch, to be honest with you, I don't see. I'm not like a big kind. I gotta watch this. Like some people like Elf every year with what's his name,
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, or what's some other ones that people watch? The Christmas Story. My wife always likes Home Alone. Be honest with you, I don't
Yeah.
really have a list. Maybe, but that's more of a New Year's movie. But It's a Wonderful Life. I always get closer to that one. But yeah, man, I wish I could say I had a go-to Christmas movie every year, but no, I don't. So my list is short.
Yeah, I don't either. It's funny. It's my my aunt at her house, she likes to play A Christmas Story, and it was usually like TNT or TBS or USA, one of those that would just play it basically all day, right? And she liked just to have it on. And I remember my cousin coming in one time in the house, and everybody, "Hey, how you doing?" Hugs and kisses. And in the middle of talking, he looks over at the TV and is like, "Oh, hold on, I've never seen this part." And he just puts his plate down, runs past everybody, and it's, "Wait, what's going on?" Apparently, he's never sat down to watch the movie, but every year he saw clips of it because he'd show up at my aunt's house. So he's piecing together this entire movie and was like, "Hold on, I've never seen this part." And runs into the living room and sits down just to watch this little piece of the movie. And I was like, that's okay, that's a Christmas memory right there. The fact that your aunt plays it every year. He's never sat down and watched the movie. He just sees little bits and pieces of it.
You know what? I would say the same thing. I don't think I've seen the whole movie all the way through, be honest with you. Yeah,
I'm sure
I've
that
seen
that
bits
might be
and
a lot of
pieces.
people.
I think so. I remember the lamp, the leg lamp. I remember the tongue getting stuck on the, pole. I remember you shoot your eye out, but that's it, just bits and pieces, right?
Yeah, my I think my favorite scene was the foot to the face when we tried to climb back up the slide to get back to Santa. Santa was like, "Nah, son, blah."
I didn't think it was one of the first earlier movies that didn't take the earnestness out. It took the earnestness out of Christmas. It's like, this, hey, this is what Christmas is like. It's like over the overabundant sometimes. There's some crazy moments.
Yeah.
It goes back to a heartwarming moment at the end. And so we have movies like that, like with that Sinbad Arnold Schwarzenegger movie about going for toys. Real rough one I saw recently over again, Billy Bob Thornton, Bad Santa. I don't know if you remember that movie, was
Yeah.
crazy. So anyway, so it's like I don't really have a go-to Christmas movie, but it sounds like Christmas Story is one of those that came up to you a lot, or came you watched a little bit more. Any other ones that you watched over and over again?
I really liked Christmas Vacation.
Hmm.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'm telling you, when that squirrel stood up on the table and everybody got shook, that hey man, that movie had me going for just that's one that I can always put on and watch. Just put that on, I'm good.
I got shook. Yes. I mean,
Squirrel. Oh, you gotta remember in Florida we had the athletic squirrels, the ones that would just lift weights and do calisthenics, and you drop your wife drops her purse and the squirrel picks it up by his teeth and runs up the tree and you're like, "Oh my god, that's a big coach bag. How are you carrying all that?" And squirrel, "I got this."
oh, Mr. Benja, I know. Look, they have a whole theme song here in Tampa called "Let Me See You Do the Squirrel." So I'm very familiar with squirrels and how muscular they are.
How
So
they get
yes.
down.
Yes. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other interesting movies out there when it comes to just people watching, getting excited about over the years.
Anything recent?
Man, I saw this 8-bit Christmas. It was okay. Nothing earth-shattering. It's about set in the '80s. It was trying to be like a Christmas story for
Okay.
our generation. So set in the '80s when they were looking for a Nintendo. Was the Wizard set? No, that wasn't set around Christmas time.
No.
Remember that was about the Nintendo, the
Yeah, with
glove. Remember that one? Oh, he's
yeah,
got the glove.
Fred Savage's little brother had to make it
Yes.
to the Nintendo World Championships.
Yeah, but the
That was a
Christmas
whole
time.
period piece time. I could
Yeah.
even though it's not Christmassy, I could watch that again.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. There you go. So yeah,
Uh,
you know what, that's the key. It's just like nostalgia, right? What movies get you back in that mode? The little claymation types, they're not claymation, I don't think, but they're like stop motion or stop action. Was it stop
yeah,
motion?
yeah,
What's they called? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the
yeah.
Snowman. So basically they would get you hyped because they never sang the song, or if they did, it was like be snippets at the beginning, in the middle of the story. And then at the end, they finally did the whole song and you get hyped, right? They're like, Frosty the Snow. Oh, No, you can't listen to the whole thing yet. At the end, when they finally told the story of how Frosty became the snowman, then
Yeah.
they go into the whole song. You got, oh, you know what? I'm forgetting this is one I do watch every year, man. Charlie Brown Christmas, man. I just love that one, man. It's just like the song, just that soulful, kind of sad, singy, songy voice. And then when Linus busts out, the preacher busts out with Jesus came from heaven. It's like,
Yeah.
dang, they went deep. This is it was no doubt.
No, that was a solid one. Yeah, that's actually pretty good too. That one can come on and stay on. Out of left field, you mentioned Rudolph, and if I don't know if James could pull this one up, but when it's funny because I actually have this memory mixed in with the real show. There are clips from Mad TV. You remember Mad TV?
Mhm.
Mad TV did a set called Raging Rudolph, and it was like guns, knives, people getting hurt and beat up in stop motion. And what's funny is I'll go back and watch the real one and be waiting on that scene from Mad TV where people are getting shot and everything. And it's yeah, that's
Oh
classic.
yeah, I'm seeing it now. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, I do. That was hilarious. Yeah, it's just they can do so many different things with this. Is like they can, hype up the earnestness, right? The realness of it. They can make fun of it. They can take a little flip to it. So it's like Christmas movies. They can do a lot, and it's so funny, man. You go back and you realize all the classic songs that we listen to now, man. They came from those old time movies, man. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas was sung by Judy Garland and
Yeah.
Miracle on 42nd Street. It's just wow. No, Meet Me in St. Louis, excuse me. So it's like these things of memories. Christmas, let's be honest. Yes, it was really built in the 40s. It was a marketing ploy, right? To get people to buy more after basically the depression. And so they were trying to create a sentiment about buying Christmas trees. And that's why Black Friday came about because retailers are like, how are we going to get people to come buy stuff from us? And
Yeah.
so Christmas was basically pushed as a marketing effort. And so that's why they have these songs, all this kind of nostalgia that's carried all the way to now. So it's interesting to see that kind of evolve. And it's funny in real time, we're seeing Halloween develop that same way, right? It used to be this offshoot kind of thing, but now it's always around Halloween, but now it's becoming like scary Christmas, and it's as almost a bigger thing as Christmas now.
Yeah. I know out here in LA, there's like a lot of there I shouldn't say there are now, but a couple years ago for the pandemic, it was party season. There were just Halloween parties galore. You go down the streets and it was just like got Michael Myers running through traffic. "Ah." And instead of honking at him, people were laughing like, "Yeah, man, cut it up, dog, cut it up." I'm like, all right,
Yes, so
wild
it's
times.
yeah, it is wild times, but yeah, man, James, cut it up, man. I love it. We did a little Christmas showdown. Put it out there. Put it out on the streams.
Yeah, if you got your holiday favorites, man, throw them in the comments as always, and send us all the smoke. But not the United Healthcare kind of smoke. We don't want that. I'm
Not
gonna
at all.
speaking of Raging Rudolph,
Oh dang.
man,
This is
this is
terrible.
bad business. So we didn't really get into this last time, but it's okay because the drama has kept continuing into this next week. And Theo, you're actively in the healthcare space now, picking up bits and pieces of the story and just finding different angles about it. But you're actually in the healthcare space. So really quickly, let me just lay it out. People in the United States are fed up with the healthcare system, and especially the healthcare insurance system, where something goes wrong, you're supposed to have insurance help you out, help pay your bills, and put in a claim, and it's supposed to go through it. Yes, we understand. We'll help you out. That's what you pay money into the system for. But the largest company, I believe, as far as profit is concerned, United Healthcare, they've got all this money, and they've been I think someone said around 35% of their claims they deny or had denied in this one period. And that was just terrible in terms of how claims are being accepted or denied. And it's been a whole thing that's been raging in the American populace. Like, why is this happening? People are dying. It's a sad situation, actually. And no one's really taking the lid off and like showing everybody what's happening. And look, this is a bad thing. But recently, an alleged shooter, this what was his name? Mangione?
Mhm.
Luigi Mangione, he is the suspect, and everybody's saying it's pretty much him, that he decided that the CEO should have his game ended. His game should be over. That's what he decided. And there's all types of shooting details, pictures are going around, and I'm pretty sure you've seen all that, so I won't dwell on that. But the interesting thing to me is that this whole social aspect of it now has changed. And we're seeing how people are responding to it. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways we can go with this, but Theo, how does this change things? Is this just another news event, another weird freak happening, or obviously it's symptoms of something bigger? But I don't know. What do you have to say on your side of it?
Yeah, man. This is something that I think we saw symptoms bubbling up from the COVID, right? That's so basically the doctors or healthcare professionals as being the arbiter of all that is right and good understanding of that is wrong, right? The institutions itself are failing us, right? And so that's why you have the mask mandates, people push back on that, immunization requirements and taking vaccines. But so that's I think that's part of a bigger kind of conversation. But the insurance has been a special hell for a lot of folks. I think some of our listeners, I even have dealt with this, like understanding why am I being charged this $85 fee for the anesthesiologist to spend 30 minutes or more
Yeah.
on the surgery I did. And if anyone's seen any what they call explanation of benefits, it's almost like reading Greek, trying to understand this stuff. And it's purposely set that way. Healthcare is purposely confusing because guess what? You don't pay for it. You pay for it indirectly. So
Yeah.
the way they set it up is you get a service from a doctor, the doctors deliver service to you, but neither the doctor doesn't get paid by you. They get paid by the insurer, and you pay into the insurer. So we have a system where there is a middleman in the middle of a transaction between two parties. And that's unheard of. Capitalism at its purest is I sell something to you, you buy it from me. I deliver a service to you. So it's like when you have a middleman, you have all kind of what they call misaligned incentives, right? Because there is no you're not guaranteed to get the best service because the doctor's not getting paid for you.
Yeah.
And is not aligned, and your payment is not aligned to getting better service, right? If you're paying directly to the insurer because they're using it for other stuff.
Yeah.
So it creates a misalignment, economic theory 101. When there's misalignment when it comes to money, then there's always going to be issues with trying to get the best quality of service or best bang for your buck, for lack of a better word. So I say that to say, man, I can get into all these terms of why is it like that. It's just so complicated because they're trying to align something that could be very simple if they just made one payer like they have
Yeah.
in rich countries, other rich countries where the government is a payer, right? That's it. And then basically they take care of everyone's you pay taxes, you pay
Yeah.
fees, you pay all these other services, you pay as a citizen,
Yeah.
the government will take care of that. But because they don't have it like that, they have to create these kind of almost maze-like structures in order to create some pseudo alignment. And they
Yeah.
always break. And so that's the high level of what's going on. And so the frustration people feel is because of complexity of what's really going on behind the scenes that unfortunately will never change because this is multi-billion dollar United Healthcare, what 70
Yeah.
17% of our GDP. So our GDP,
Jeez.
yes, so it's almost 20% of our national GDP. And if you think about that, so you're looking at trillions of dollars. Our GDP right now is 30 almost 30 trillion dollars. So that's one fifth of that. It's trillions of dollars that's going into this situation, and it's making it worse. So anyway, as a layman, Mr. Benja, when you heard this and you're seeing the discourse on the internet, I'll be curious to see. I can get into details of like how they rate people. So if you're sicker, they give you a score, a risk score, and they're
Yeah.
trying to figure out they pay you just a little bit more. But really, they're trying to cap out how the insurers are going to pay. Look, as a what it is, they say, Mr. Benja, basically, we're gonna pay $10,000 for your health care for the rest
Yeah.
of the and then if you maybe be a little sicker, let's say you have some chronic condition or something, we may pay you a little bit more,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah, man. You know what? As a layperson, I will say this. I'm definitely not anti healthcare, but I am very pro get your ish together. And I remember After a couple times of having meetings with doctors, I was like, yeah, okay, I see you've got the steroid you can use to help out with the lung condition. When I was younger, I was in Florida and I was allergic to a lot of the grasses, but I liked playing sports and stuff. So I was having some inflammation issues and all that. And they were like, hey, yeah, so we're gonna put you on these steroids, we're gonna do this and that and this. I remember even as a kid, and I argued this as an adult too. I was like, was there something I can get on that's like an exercise regimen program? Can I get like an air filter in my house that could so I could prevent this stuff, more preventative kind of things. And they were like, What are you talking about? Listen, when this happens again, make sure that when you cough up blood, you send us a sample and we'll send you to some specialist somewhere." And I'm like, what? I don't want all that. I just want to not. So the preventative side and trying to actually avoid things. I was like, hey, can I get a test on my blood and my nutrition levels for proper foods that can maybe help out with the situation and get some blood work done? And they're like, why would we do that? It was just problematic. And I wasn't the only one in my family going through this because my cousin, sister, mom, we all had these same types of questions. And I remember at one point I questioned my doctor. I said, hey, is this necessary? And do we have to do this and that? And he was like, I'll get back to you. A week later, my mom was like, son, we love you, but your questioning got our entire family kicked off that doctor's program. And I was
What?
like, yes. And this was it my junior year, my senior year in high school. So
Mm.
I was like, oh, that's how it is. And I hadn't noticed it getting any better since then. But the idea that my whole entire family could get kicked off this one doctor's roster was phenomenal to me. I was like, "Pff, okay, sorry. Oh
You
yeah,
know, insurance is like health insurance a little. Look, we get car insurance, we get home insurance. And
yeah,
that's still terrible, right? Because you're paying premiums for and basically the profit margin is based on not having to pay out, right? The more you keep paying a premium, so basically we pay monthly into the insurance in case shit happens, basically. Their
yeah,
hope is that shit won't happen. So that's why they have actuarials. Remember Reggie? Man, I never forget. That's the first time I heard that term. Remember, I don't know if you remember Reggie from FAMU. He said,
yeah, yeah,
I want to be actuary. I was like, what the hell is that? And so basically these data nerds will come together and figure out like what's the likelihood of Mr. Benja, we're gonna have to pay out $1 million policy on this guy. Oh, he's
yes,
45 years old, he's this, he's that, he's this. Oh, he's healthy. Oh, yeah. So yeah, we'll insure that. But no, if you're coughing up blood in front of us, you're like 69 years old, got an
yeah,
oxygen tank. Nah, dawg, that's risky.
yeah,
Yeah, insurance by its nature is like not, and then when you tie that into health care, which is basically is you pay whatever it takes to be health, right? Because health is basically time. And you'll pay
yeah,
whatever it takes to get more time on this earth. And so it's you have a captured audience. We talk about marketing a lot. We talk about selling. It's the ultimate kind of captured audience. They'll pay whatever. The demand curve is straight up and down. Whatever you charge me, I'll pay for it to stay alive longer. So I
yeah.
think that's the challenge, man. And yeah, man, I talk about this on my other pod. So go check it out. Medical Success Secrets. Small plug. I wrote a book behind me. I don't
Oh,
really plug into
oh,
this. Boy, I
zoom in
talk
on that, James.
yeah. Zoom in on that, James. Yeah, but I think it's one of those things that as a layperson, and I've been on both sides, Mr. Benja. I know,
Mhm.
understand more and more. And I've been frustrated when my wife got pregnant with my son. Why am I still getting these bills? And it's I understand.
Yeah, so you asked as a layperson, what I wanted to also emphasize was that it's frustrating. And I know because I get frustrated with this kind of stuff. And as I've said, I ask questions that people don't like. Like I'll be in the doctor's office, like, hey, can we at least get some sugar-free lollipops? And then everybody just kind of gets quiet and all the nurses shake their heads.
One of
Like, why would
those.
you ask that? How dare you besmirch our office with your questions?
I love it.
And bring some fresh fruit up in the doctor's office. So yeah, it's I'm looking at all these problems, and of course, as far as I know, our problems are pitiful compared to some of these horror stories that you hear on the internet where lost ones, families have lost their loved ones over the mail didn't get delivered on the right day. So sorry, we can't do anything. Policy says, and you're like, what? You're gonna, what? So there are a lot of bad problems. And yeah, but I was looking online, and this is what made me want to talk about this story because it's obviously not in our normal discussion list. But I was looking online on Instagram. I found like there was a post by somebody saying, "Hey, listen, here's what's happening with this healthcare thing." And I looked in the comments, and people were like, "Yeah, good for Luigi and Luigi death stare." And I'm like, "Whoa, okay, this is interesting." And it was just the vibe of it was very eat the rich, if that's a vibe. I was like, "Okay, that's Instagram. I wonder what Threads is saying." Go over to Threads, same kind of stuff. I'm like, "Huh, interesting." Very, who cares? He deserved it. Maybe some other CEOs they should be on watch, I'll say. And it was very concerning from a lot of points of view. It's just like, is this what we're doing? And no matter what social media, actually, I went on X and there wasn't much talk of this type of talk on X, which was interesting. But there's so much anger out there that people were just like, basically, that's what you get.
Mm,
And in fact, a woman now they're starting to fight back. I had this story from ABC News. Florida woman charged for threatening health insurance company. I'm reading just from the report here. A Florida woman was arrested and charged this week after police say she ended a phone call with her health insurance provider with threats that mimicked wording associated with the United Healthcare CEO shooter. It's funny, I don't even want to say what she said because if it got her arrested, it might get this video kicked off of YouTube now. But yeah, one thing she said was, "You people are next."
mm.
And that's kind of obviously that's pretty dark, but I don't know, man. It's weird. It's become almost this little cult. Had you heard about this bubbling up in the social media sphere or from people this attitude?
No, but I can see why it is starting to bubble up because everyone has a bad experience with insurance. You just told your story. I have a
Yeah.
story. I guarantee you talk to 100 people, 99 people have stories about insurance, dealing with insurance, and trying to understand what, even to this day, I still got stuff on there like, why am I paying for this? And trying to understand
Yeah.
that at detail. And it's not so much I heard it bubbling up, but the frustration is real. And let's be honest, a couple things is helping him in his favor. The guy is handsome. He looks like why is he doing this? Is because he was just a student. He looked like he had a lot going for him. He went to private school and it's so he got fed up. So it's wow, if even he got fed up, a guy who had the world on a string and he got
Yeah.
fed up to that much where or to where he was ready to do something. And they said he wasn't even United Healthcare wasn't even his insurer. so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
so it's like a lot of things going into this. And it's to your point. How long would this last? It's funny is when I always think about this. We talk about the presidential election, and these presidents come in with these mandates, and we're going to do all this stuff. But I wonder they barely talked about healthcare in the presidential election. I wonder if that's going to be the big thing
Yeah.
when Trump comes into office because it's so funny. He's like, oh, it's about immigration, it's about the economy. But
Yeah.
when something like this happens, now all of a sudden people bump all that. That guy was right.
That'd be a way to get people on your side if the Doge came in. And by Doge, I'm talking about the DOGE from Elon Musk, meaning the Department of Government
Government
Expenditures. I think
efficiency.
that's it.
Yeah. I thought it was government efficiency, but probably both.
Efficiency. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Department of Government Efficiency. Yeah, Elon's thing.
Good point.
The Department of Gross Elon, as some people call it. Yeah, that's a funny thing too. If anything can be made a little more efficient, I'm sure something in the healthcare space and the insurance space can happen. So
Love it,
we'll
man.
see
Love
how
it.
that goes.
More to
How are you?
come, but yeah, thanks for putting it up there, man. I love you having these discussions outside of our normal. So thank you guys for letting us embark on this journey.
Yeah, how are you? Speaking of gurus, I'm gonna throw Elon in our guru discussion. Our big wise rich man of Tesla, right? Whatever you feel about Elon is whatever. Like him or hate him, throw it in the comments. Let us know. Yeah, really quickly, what is this Doge thing to you? Do you think that's a good idea, or is it just too silly, or
Yeah,
just any thoughts on it really quick?
all business guys think they can run the government more efficiently. And who said that? Ross Perot. Look, we're showing our age. Ross Perot was one of those I'll go in, I'll set up, I'll send this, I'll do this. It was a third party candidate for those that don't know that ran for president. And I want to say 92 against George Bush, the original senior, and Bill Clinton. And so he was a spoiler. And so basically that allowed potentially Bill Clinton to win the election. But he was a business guy. He's a billionaire. He made his money, I think, on enterprise tech, computers. But yeah, that was his claim to fame. I'm going to cut everything and do this right and run the business. I think every businessman comes in with that kind of perception. But then when you actually get into government, you realize this is like the Titanic and this ship is hard to turn. Yes, you can try to. So I was telling the argument to someone like the one guy who was going to go into, I can't remember his name. He was going to go into the FBI and he was going to get rid of deep state. I don't know if you remember. And he said he's going to get rid of, there's a building in New York. He's going to clear it out. All 40,000 people, they're not going to have a job anymore. And I realized that's fine. And even if you replace all these people, ultimately, guess what? Even if you bring new people in, there's policies and procedures that got to get done that nobody's going to know how to do. So guess who they're going to call? They're going to call the guy that fired the last guy to figure all that out. And that guy's going to be overwhelmed. And he's like, I don't want to deal with this no more because I don't even know. The government is like that, man. There's so many hidden things and what was the TPS reports, right? Just these to the nth degree because they're there for a reason, right? But when you try to come in as a business person and try to disrupt all that, it's so hard. So we'll see. That's why Trump is trying to use executive orders, right, to maneuver things a little bit to his favor a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But it comes to a point when you get to the minutia of actually executing the agencies, that the checks and balances are the bureaucracy, right? The bureaucracy keeps the thing from moving faster. Yeah, so I don't think they'll find some cuts, but a whole swath of things getting cut out, I don't see that happening, man. I think they'll try to cut a few things and say we made success, but if they try to cut something drastically, I guarantee that guy will not last 2 weeks because everybody's gonna be calling him, and no man, no human being can handle that much overwhelm. It's not that serious.
Yeah, it's an interesting and wholeheartedly different game, I think, from my far removed perspective. But yeah, we were going to talk about the rise and fall of some gurus and where gurus are at right now. And Elon Musk seemed like a decent guy to start with. Yeah, we just have these figures that we start following, and it's become weird now because I guess I'm thinking about it, thinking back on 2025, and even from the pandemic, you've got all these different characters, individuals, brands. And I think we've gotten to a point where they're starting to separate themselves from a corporate entity and becoming an entity all into themselves.
Okay.
Where they're a brand, they're an influencer, they're a cult almost. And you've got more of these figures coming up. If you want to go old school, you'll have Steve Jobs, but now Kanye West, it's what's his name? Kendrick Lamar. You've got your Elon Musk and Kai Cenat. It's all these characters are showing up and they're really market heavy. They're really good on the marketing side of things. And like the video you sent me, it's people aren't used to this kind of marketing and they're getting it and they're just jumping into their mind. They're jumping into bed with these people. Cool, let's go. I'm all for it. Andrew Tate was the other one I was trying to think of. I don't know. Does this continue? Is it going to fall? Is it going to keep going? What's happening with the gurus?
The gurus are
Influence.
here. The influences are influencing. I don't know, man. Like I said, I listen to a good influencer every now and then, but I do feel like there is some waning influence, right? They're all starting to now every once in a while, like Hormozy, I always try to see, okay, is he gonna say the same thing? To his credit, he's always trying to switch it up, trying to change some things. Some gurus, they start repeating themselves too often, and so it becomes monotonous. And so it's curious to see which gurus are going to stay relevant. And we talked about this, how they're staying relevant. We see your guy, Derek Grace, he's leveraging clout
My
chasing
guy.
with yeah, my guy. If you don't know who Derek Grace is, Derek Grace 2, look him up. Very interesting guy. Got a lot of tattoos on his face. That pretty much is his brand, and he's leveraging that. So whatever it means when a guy has a lot of tattoos on his face, then that's what he's doing. So that's all I want to say. So if you see a guy have a lot of tattoos on his face and he think, did he do that? Yes, he did that.
Yes, yes, he
So
did.
yeah, so this guy is clout chasing, obviously in the mode of earn your leisure. So he's doing interviews with Ti, leveraging that, putting that out there on his channels and stuff. And look, more credit to him. Then you got on the other extreme. So it's interesting. I'm rounding this out. I see the other extreme. We have someone like Ashton CEO, who's just being he's under the Neo brand, right? Those Myron Golden guys, higher level gurus. He's just below them, probably in the same circles, but he's just
Yeah,
been consistent, just doing the same thing. Doesn't change his shirt usually. He's always in the front, same background, and he's selling his digital courses and his $47 uh mastermind group, right? Monthly
mhm,
mastermind. And it's like being consistent. So it's funny. You see the two extremes, right? With these mid-level gurus trying to figure out their place in the world. So I don't know, Mr. Benja. I think the thing I see coming, and we'll talk about in predictions, but just Sora got announced this week as we're recording this. With so basically that's that new video generator from OpenAI, and I think that could be a game changer when it comes to what people are going to watch. We saw the rise of faceless YouTube videos. We saw the
yeah.
rise of AI generated podcasts. I don't know, man. Are we seeing the sunset of the guru?
So check this out. It's funny. There are I played this game and it has these AI characters in it, and the art is AI, and they show up, and it's I wouldn't mind. It's trying to act like these are players, other players online, but they're AI, and you know it. But they say things like, "Hey, man, good game," and they talk to you, and you're like, "I don't mind this." If that person represents level 17 or whatever, don't mind, which is a weird feeling. And I started poking around and was thinking about this when I got distracted by this fitness model on Instagram. So I'm
Pleasant way
thinking,
of saying that. Pleasant way of
yeah,
saying that.
yeah. So I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, wow, look at this fitness model on Instagram. Very interesting proportions and build and look, very exotic, generic, interesting. Wow, okay. So I'm looking into this, and I used to look up some fitness people because I'm like, okay, certain people know these different exercises and things, whatever. I was actually into that. Very quickly can lead to your algorithm getting screwed up on Instagram.
uh,
So I gotta watch out for making sure my algorithm stays nice and family friendly. But anyway,
I do. I do.
yeah. But anyway, this person shows up and I go through looking at it and I'm like, huh, this is just an interesting person, but I couldn't put my finger on her. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Go to the bio. There's like the little link tree or whatever. It's got a couple links on there. I'm like, huh, okay, standard stuff. Instagram, X, whatever, OnlyFans. Sure, I get it. Basic, whatever. I go back and I'm like, this person doesn't say too much. This person doesn't have a lot of friends showing up, but there's like tons of likes and everything. I decided to search on X to see who's talking to this person, who's talking with this person, just because it's interesting and I don't know why. Finally, someone says, hey, this person is a deep fake of this other influencer that came
Mm.
out like 6 or 7 years ago. So I was like, what? I went back to the person from 6 or 7 years ago, same build and look, but it's an actual person who's talking, who's doing a bunch of other things aside from just these weird little, hi, I'm this person with a weird build. And I'm like, they did the deep fake and the deep voice, and I didn't notice it. And it wasn't apparent from any of the comments or anything. I actually had to go searching for it. So
Mm.
I was like, okay, I got.
You got
It
catfish.
and it's happened quite a bit to quite a lot of people because I was in the comments and nobody had a clue.
They're saying we're probably gonna have more relations with AI in 2025. Look, this we're getting prediction territory, but I see that happening. They quote unquote, this was the election the young men won, right? Donald Trump won for the young men, right? Quote unquote young white men, really, because they're so lost, right? They listen to Joe Rogan. They're looking for the answers. And a lot of them are lonely. A lot of them realize that their dating prospects are dim. So they're searching online, they're on Robinhood, their crypto's up, so they're getting hyped about crypto. They're betting more. So they're in these little bubbles, this isolated bubble. And so if a little fitness model pops up in their little bubble, you think they're looking to see if they're fake or not, Mr. Benja? Oh, I got a
Nah.
girlfriend now. I got a girlfriend. So I see that gonna just proliferate. As a guy who has a young son, just I see it. You look, as a boy, we all
Yeah.
were into video games and just being on
Hmm.
to imagine we had the iPad at 4 or 5 years, 6, 7 years old.
That's
Imagine what.
crazy. Yeah.
And so it's yes, we don't mind him doing it, but it's no, you're doing sports, you're watching this with me, you're doing this with me. So trying to create an environment where they want to stay outside of that toxic social world. And so a lot of those guys don't have that, man. That's unfortunate. It's going to be a crazy world. It's going to be a crazy world.
Yeah, and it's another mark of the crazy world. You got regular people still trying to make OnlyFans a thing for you were a couple years ago when OnlyFans was like, "Hey, it's not just for it's not just for models and pretty people, it's for everybody." And they did that really strong push for 2 months.
Vaguely. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, man. Well, now we got for some reason, the voice actor from RDR has decided that he's Rob Whitehoff. Red Dead Redemption's John Marston actor Rob Whitehoff starts an OnlyFans to chronicle his physical fitness journey.
Why
Come
not?
on, man. Get on Patreon or something. What's wrong with you?
I just thought about that. Patreon. I forgot. That's an option.
Or
I,
Circle, anything.
I guess he felt that was the best way to do it, man. People saying that R's, man, on OnlyFans. I don't know, Mr. Benja, not to get too much in your history, but did you know the actor? Have you met him before?
No, I don't know. I don't know him at all. He's from Red Dead Redemption. Oh, no, he was in the original as well. But no, I never met the guy.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think, yeah, but I just put in there in the show notes. You heard about this model, Sophie Rain. She just revealed she made $43 million this year alone on OnlyFans. One person was willing to pay her $40 million or $4 million, I think. So it's crazy, man. What these people are making on OnlyFans. I
I got
saw
one up you on that one.
what's that?
Lily Allen. Remember the singer Lily Allen?
Yeah,
Sa
the feet.
Yeah, she makes her feet pick because she does feet picks. Her feet pick make her more money on than her Spotify streams. And she says, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." Can
Oh
you
yeah, there's a
imagine can
I
you
know.
imagine being in the studio with an award-winning artist and you're like, "Okay, so now we're gonna do the bridge, and this time I wanna really pump it up. So on the first verse, we're just gonna do a normal, second verse, we're gonna pump it up really big, and then we're gonna come in with a new set of drums, and wait, Lily, where are you going? Why are you taking your boots off? Why are you taking pictures of your feet in the middle of the studio? We're paying money for the studio." And it's, "Yeah, but I make more money off these feet. Shut the up, all right?" What do you do?
I just saw what is that? I'm trying to think of that the musician. She also says she heard about Lily Allen and she's gonna be on OnlyFans. And she said, why not? Who was that one, that famous one that became in the forefront? It was a Stranger Things season 4. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sure the people are gonna flambase me, but yeah, I'll look it up as we talk. But yeah, she also said the same thing. Coming up that hill, running up that hill. What's that song? Yeah, run up that hill. It's the Kate Bush. She says she also is going to be on OnlyFans.
It's not like I OnlyFans has a decent in terms of you get on there, you see what they're presenting. It's this stream like a normal social media. You can buy, you can message, whatever. There are two things wrong with the fans portion of it. One, it's not really for the fans, it's for this one-on-one type of
Mhm.
download this material kind of thing. So it really doesn't build a community per se. It's not that great at that. And yeah, the whole setup is basically about porn. And you can't get around that. And I don't know if people are anybody's legitimately trying to get around it or they're just saying, "Hey, this is the place to be." And if you're saying, "Hey, this is the place to be," then gosh, I really wonder
We talked
is
about that. There are whole courses on how you could potentially get women to have an OnlyFans site, right? So that's one area. But what's prevent OnlyFans from allowing AI to proliferate, right? With video, if it gets better and better.
No, it's on there.
Exactly.
They
AI
have they have
videos
they
of
have
fake
AI content creators. I
deep
mean, it's just
fakes. It's like, yeah, man.
they care.
Yeah, good point. It's becoming a cluster, man, where it's just fake stuff, seeing people seeing fake stuff
Check this out.
and have
I
relationships
went
with fake people.
I went to Google and typed in AI on OnlyFans. The very first thing I got, no, first video, making an AI OnlyFans with computer science. Sec- Second video, how I make 20,000 a month passive income using AI and OnlyFans. Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
I see the same thing. How to create
Okay,
an AI OnlyFans model step by step.
let me open up my Brave browser and go to an incognito window to see if I'm just tripping here. There's something because I'm always looking at business opportunities and things. So
Live,
maybe the
guys.
results are skews.
Live,
Maybe the
guys.
results are skewed.
We are watching live Mr. Benja
All
doing
right,
the
so
business.
now
Odds.
AI on OnlyFans. And yes, I've got the blank YouTube page here. It doesn't know anything about me in this browser window. I'm hitting return now. Yeah, same thing. If you just say AI on OnlyFans, it's not like there's no discussions about it. It's just like how to make money doing this. So if you've got this many videos, this one's got 55,000 views, 5.1 million views. I think the seventh or eighth video down says is a Joe Rogan discussion. It says AI OnlyFans models are crazy. And yeah, I guess if you want to, you know what? These AI OnlyFans models are probably having really good discussions.
I love it.
I'm not being funny here. They're probably having really good discussions because I was on Twitch and saw this girl. I forgot her name. She's a hottie, and her face was in the corner, and this AI model was front and center. She was studying for a test or doing some other stuff, and you had to pay to speak to her AI model, which was funny.
What?
Yes, and she would just jump in and interject every once in a while to, "Hey, you guys, don't talk mean to my AI," and it would just go back to work. And the AI was just sitting there talking for her while her real person face was up in the corner.
Wow, we are living in the future. So
Yeah.
people are using AI just to be there while they do something else, man. Hey guys, the game is to be told. It's usually supposed to be sold, but we're telling you the game right now,
Yeah.
guys. We're telling you the game right now. So look, this is what's happening right now. People are using AI to make money while they study. So we already showed you stuff on Twitch, the NPC type real people. So the game is insane. Mr. Benj, I'm super excited about our prediction show, man. I think you gave me enough content to realize, hey, I need to do more research on some stuff. And no, I will not be on OnlyFans all night tonight, guys. No, I will not be.
All right, man. Delete that browser history. Get
Ain't
caught
gonna
up.
get me. Ain't gonna get me. Anyway, man, Mr. Benja, anything else we want to catch up on?
Oh man, we're getting towards the end of the year, and I just wanted to say it's been fun, man. I have really been thinking about the gap in the game because I'm like, I was supposed to end up here, but I ended up here. I was supposed to do this, but that happened instead. And really going back to that gap in the game and being thankful and being grateful. Hey, no, this did happen, man. You did accomplish this. That moved forward. Really getting into that spirit is going to be paramount for 2025 because I don't think any of us can really gauge where we're going to be no matter how well we try to plan. So get in there, start thinking about the next year, start thinking about your loved ones and what you're going to do and get the plans ready. Don't be down on New Year's when it comes through. But I didn't get to say that in the beginning, but that's what's been on my mind. So hope everybody's had a good 2025 and rounds it out properly.
I love it. Yeah.
24 and rounds it out properly.
24, man. You were already in the new year, man. I love it. Yeah,
Jeez.
I would. Yeah, I concur. So, yeah, look for us. We're nearing our 200 episodes. So, we're the OGs. Thank you for listening and listen to what we're doing. we'll continue to grow. So we'll definitely please comment, like what you hear. Look, we're going to try to do some new things next year. So be on the lookout for that as we plan for next year, looking at what you guys like us to talk about. So I think we have some ideas on that. But Mr. Benja, man, it's always a pleasure doing this with you. Look,
Always.
everyone, if you like this, please subscribe and comment at Show vs. Business on X, Threads, YouTube, and Instagram. Listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go check out our website, get more information about who we are, what we're about. And thank you for just listening. Mr. Benja, have a good one, man.
Peace.